Hello and welcome everyone. It is me, Zaval, also known as the Power Tool Duelist, back for you with a Banlist reaction. Couple spoilers already, because the way the Twitter post is always set up. What am I kind of expecting? I'm expecting a Paradise Smasher ban, which I got soft confirmed already by the first image. Um, kind of hoping, kind of thinking that like most of like the old decks do escape the list because the format is kind of like soft rotated out into the Josh archetypes, um and we get to and enjoy the format as is, um with my internet slowly rendering in the image. Starting off, the unlimited section here is Glow Up Bulb, which makes a lot of sense. Glow Up Bulb's not doing a whole lot. Don't mind the terrible resolution. Um, it is the way of the German Internet. Es ist schließlich für uns alle Neuland. Um, yeah, Glow Up Bulb not doing a whole lot. The three makes a lot of sense. Masterpiece, True Draco Saiyan King, also not doing a whole lot. Even like predicted this with the upcoming True Draco support that they would unlimit True Draco. Morphing Jar, yeah. Also mentioned that in the ban list discussion. Card that's been moving, down the list, piece by piece, and yeah, Phantom Skyblaster. Also, like, who cares? I think this got limited early link era. It's one of those like token spamming cards similar to like Scapegoat that just got hit early link era because it like easily enabled like these big links that you supposedly were supposed to work for. So no worries there. Ash and Poplar, cute consistency pieces for like Snake Eye, but Snake Eye like lacks like a ceiling or like a payoff in general. Um, but I guess with like three Ash, three Poplar, you could feasibly consider that deck again. Um, but without like OSS, the whole thing just falls together because it's not a consistency engine for like other decks with like a central level one fire and all that good stuff. Dragonic Diagram. One of you guys actually mentioned that under the deck on my ban list discussion, and I was like entirely confused why this is still at one. Um, Here it is at three. Of course, also deck doesn't do anything. Um, Lightning Storm to three. I mean, I think we all question why Lightning Storm got semied in the first place, so so be it. Zodiac Barrage is interesting if a certain rank for XDs gets unbanned, Konami, but even with like a singular Trident, Zodiac is just like a Zeus engine at best, so who gives a damn? Moving into a relevant section. Moving off the relevant section. We have, whoa, that's a lot of cards. X Rizier going to one. Yep, felt like that was fairly obvious. Malice P Dormouse. I think I went with the Malice Field spell instead. Whoa, there's a lot of shit on this where I'm like, what the hell? Vanquish Soul Raisin. Are we really hitting like VS K9 like a month into being the best deck? That's crazy, dog. Not gonna lie. Um, Holy, I think that's a bit early. Like it's fine, obviously. Deck that won Worlds. It's probably the best thing at the moment. I guess everyone get hyped for Yummy format. And I guess every VS player F's in the chat for like your deck getting even more inconsistent because damn, this is rough. Fiendsmith's Lacrima back. Is this even like relevant? I don't think it is. Like Fiendsmith engine has been like falling off of a fucking cliff over the last two formats. And this is like doing a whole list. Link Rebo back to one is cute. I'll take it. Might slot that back into Morphtronics. Even if I do prefer like the additional utility off of something like Clockwork Knight and Anima by now. But Link Rebo is still a very good unlimit. Now that like Snake Eye is not like doing hit and all that, Snake Eye is not doing a whole lot. Summon Sock, yep. We've been here, we've talked about it. Like, errata makes this card like absolutely uninteresting for like 99% of decks. So like, yep. Herald of the Arclight is we're really hitting like Josh decks real soon, by the way. Raisin, Arclight, Obedience School also here. That's crazy, not gonna lie. Um, yeah, Herald of Arclight, I guess F's in the chat for like all the ritual enjoyers out there. You're getting one Herald of Arclight for your Diviner. Um, in the grand scheme of things, is this like what needs to happen to keep like Yummy a bit down? Man, that's rough. I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with like hitting the new top decks this early. I think it's a bit weird. I don't think it's like unwarranted. I don't want to say like it's unwarranted, but it feels weird. Like, yeah, we're moving into this format, but it's like a format that everyone's currently enjoying. So like, do you really need to hit these? Um, but yeah, the last formats deck at least get like off fairly lightly, which is nice. And then yeah, Trident back, Trident is back, Trident is back. We're getting one singular detonator and one singular pop of a Trident. Crystron inclusion. I think it's crazy that we're hitting Crystron cards that are not called Archefiber X. But it makes sense, you know, Crystron being last format like the fifth or sixth best deck. And then also like, you know, being currently like the third best deck, arguably. Canine Crystron is kind of tied with Draco Tail for that position, with, you know, if you, depending on who you ask. But yeah, I think this is like a fine hit, maybe a bit too early, but same as Obedience School. Yo, Stake Your Soul as well. Jesus Christ. Konami does not want Vanquish Soul at the top of the format. That's crazy. Raisin and Stake Your Soul to one. Holy. Yeah, I guess I hope everyone's excited for Yummy format. You know, Pancratops and Fenrir stocks to the moon. Judgment to one is crazy, by the way. I think it is insane that like the last time this was like a realistic thing on the ban list, I was like half my age, not done with school by like a long shot, and insane it was limiting Judgment in 2025 out of all cards. Um, that's crazy. I don't I like we already hitting Judgment. What is happening, dude? And then getting to the bands. Rip Bozo. Wait, what is Moon doing here? Gee. But yeah, anyways, you know, everyone rip Bozo down below. Paradise Smasher. You will not be missed, you son of a bitch. The one thing that like actually was like a drain on this format, and he is gone. Absolutely gone. Um these last three are kind of like, whoa. Moon of the Closed Heaven. I guess like that's where, you know, the reasoning for the Lacrima on ban came from. But man, I don't know if like that's the way, you know. Splash Mage. You can't spell malice without L. That's crazy. Like, I think that's like one of the most random bans in like a long time. Jesus Christ. Um, but I guess yeah, we're hitting Splash Mage. You know, okay. Gale of Feralims, I don't know. I can kind of see it. I was like shortly talking about like a Splash Mage and like my banlist prediction and thoughts. Um, and yeah, you know, you could make a case for this because like realistically, we have like not hit like Mitsurugi in like any way, shape, or form, and this is like the one thing you can do to like, if you want to play Mitsurugi, you're basically taking the player base, sitting them down at the table, and you're going, okay, guys, all these Mitsu variants, they're cute and all, but we don't want you guys to do that. You know, if you're going to play Mitsurugi, you're going to just play Mitsurugi, and you are going to like it. Um, it's rough, it's early, but I also like don't think it's like too unreasonable. Generic extra deck pieces that access the main deck in a way, shape, or form are always kind of a bit dicey. Get it? You know, there's paradise on the screen. But yeah, I don't know, I think this is a very good list. Like, I think I could be sitting here complaining about like the 15 floodgates that they could have like absolutely taken out back. And been like, yeah, Konami bad. But like Konami continues a trend of like very good lists. I think Splash Mage at the high end and King of the Feral Imps are like a bit harsh. Especially with like, you know, X Dormouse to one already and like the deck's kind of being phased out. But I guess it also sort of makes sense if you're hitting like both Yummy and VSK9 this early. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. Overall, I do like this list. I think we're hitting like the Josh decks a bit too early, but granted, you know, the ones we are hitting are the ones that are getting, you know, the most support out of Doom Dimensions that's like releasing in a week or two, I wanna say. Um we got like a cute couple of like unbans and unhits, you know, Linkuriboh, Summon Sork, Trident, I guess Fiendsmith's Lacrima for, you know, the Fusion Lacrima. We're not talking about this page. Blow Up Ball is like a very cool card that I think a lot of people have been looking forward to getting their hands on again, because it's just like a very fun card for like graveyard pyre decks. You know, Light Swan's gonna highly appreciate that. But otherwise, yeah, I think this is a fine list. Maybe a bit harsh in some ways, but it also like makes sense, and that's like the most important part. Um, you know, if you start hitting like the new things this early, you might want to make sure that, you know, you do like follow up on the old stuff again, so you're essentially not like stuck with like last format again. Um, I just think we could have like held off on like, you know, the gun on like Moon, Splash Mage, and King of the Feral Imps. Like this forbidden section could have been like one card, and this would have been like a list that would be at least as good, if not, you know, better. Because this way you kind of just like randomly like murder Fiendsmith splashes that have not been relevant since March. um, you just kind of bone every Cyberse player, but I guess Joshua Schmidt still has some stocks at Konami. Um, and you also just kill Mitsu variants on top of like making like Ogdoadic a deck that needs like a normal summon that like searches Snake Rain and makes that unrespondable to like be an actual deck at one point or another. Um, otherwise, yeah, good list, good list, good list. They've been kind of killing it lately, I think, which is a good thing. You know, we're not looking at like a ban list and it's like, oh, this changes nothing. No, Konami has really picked up in speed when it comes to like unlimits, unbans. Yes, there's like still a lot of like clutter on the ban list. You could probably like yoink off, but if we're getting like a, what's this, like a one? No, I'm not counting that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 2, 3, 4, 5. There's like a 26 card ban list. I think if we continue getting these, like we'll probably be up to snuff in no time, as they say. But yeah, with that out of the way, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I know one of you was like fairly excited for like Dragonic Diagram on top of like a Masterpiece, and I guess, you know, you've been a very good boy or girl this year, because Santa Konami has been coming to your house and left some presents under the tree early. But yeah, with all that out of the way, Glad to hear your thoughts down below. Again, these banlist videos are usually just like a good place for discussion, and you know, a bit more discourse about the game. So yeah, with this upload kind of falling into my lap, I would like to thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll be seeing you guys again next time. But until then, goodbye.